As product designers, we sit at the intersection of creativity and strategy. We design experiences that should feel effortless to users and meaningful to the business. But intuition alone isn't enough. We need proof. And that's where KPIs come in. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by all the industry jargon that gets thrown around in design? If so, don't worry, you're exactly who this series was made for. Welcome back to the A to Z of product design, a guide to help you understand the key design terms so that you can communicate confidently and set clear expectations and also show your value as a designer. We've already covered letters A through J, and today we are on letter K. And our word for today is, drumroll, key performance indicator, commonly known as KPIs. What is a KPI? A KPI, or key performance indicator, is how we measure progress towards goals. It's the language that teams use to align creativity with strategy. Think of it as the scoreboard of your design success. While user research tells you why people behave a certain way, KPIs tell you what is actually happening using data. Every product team has a goal. Some focus on growth, like sign-ups or retention. Others care about efficiency, reducing time on task or error rates. And others are centered around experience quality, so satisfaction, trust, or accessibility. Now, KPIs aren't something that designers define alone. They're usually set collaboratively across product, design, and data. Product managers often lead by defining business goals, things like retention or revenue. Designers contribute by defining user-centered measures of success, such as task success rate, satisfaction, or adoption. So while design might not own KPIs, we play a key role in shaping how success is measured because we understand the human side of those numbers. KPIs are everywhere, not just in design, but across every industry. They translate abstract goals like make the product better into something measurable. They bring focus and accountability to the creative process. When used well, KPIs bridge the gap between design intent and business impact. They tell us whether our solutions are working, not just in theory, but in practice. Now, let's take a practical example. Imagine that you're working on a food delivery app, and your goal is to help more users complete their first order. You might track 1. Activation rate, which is the percentage of users who go from sign up to placing their first order. 2. Time to order, how long it takes these new users to complete the process. 3. Drop-off rate, how many users start but never finish. Each of these tells a part of the story. If activation is low, maybe onboarding isn't clear enough. If drop-off is high, then maybe the checkout feels too complicated. In short, empathy guides your design decisions, but KPI reveals the real-world impact. Why KPI matters for product designers? A lot of designers say, I just want to make things usable and beautiful. And that's fair. After all, that's what most of us were trained to do. But here's the truth. Businesses don't just care about beauty or usability. They care about outcomes. When you understand KPIs, you start speaking the same language as your product managers, your engineers, and even your executives. So let us share a quick story with you. A few years ago, I worked on a redesign for a payment dashboard. Everyone on the team loved the new design. The visuals were cleaner, the flow was smoother, and in usability testing, participants even said it looked more professional. We launched it as an experiment, and for a moment, we celebrated. But when the experiment ended and we examined the results, things weren't quite what we expected. Users were spending more time in the interface, but completing fewer actions. When we dug into the analytics, we realized our clean design had actually hidden a critical call to action. It wasn't obvious anymore where users should go to complete their task. That moment was eye-opening, and it gave me a newfound appreciation for KPIs. Because here's the thing, KPIs aren't about numbers for the sake of numbers. They're about clarity. They show whether your decisions are truly driving the results your users and your business actually need. How to choose the right KPIs. Once you see how powerful KPIs can be, the next question becomes, which ones should I actually focus on? The truth is that not all metrics matter equally. If you try to measure everything, you'll end up overwhelmed and distracted. But if you choose the right few, then they will act like a compass, pointing you towards what truly drives value. Let me paint a quick picture. A while back, I mentored a designer who was working on a community platform. She was obsessed with improving the visuals and spent weeks refining layouts and colors. When we talked about success metrics, she said she was tracking page views and likes. So I asked her this question. What is the goal of the redesign? She said, I want more people to engage in a community discussion. That one sentence changed everything, because when you think about it, page views don't tell you if people are engaging. They just show that people arrived on the page, right? The better KPIs were comment rates, how many people actually contributed to the discussion, and return visits, which showed long-term engagement. Here's the takeaway. Choose KPIs that align with your goals. So before you commit to any metric, ask yourself 3 simple questions. 1. What problems are we trying to solve? 2. What behaviors should show that we have solved it? 3. How can we measure that behavior over time? Those 3 questions will keep you grounded and intentional. The trap of vanity metrics. One of the biggest lessons I've learned about KPIs is that not all metrics are meaningful. It's easy to fall into the trap of what we call vanity metrics. So numbers that look impressive on slides but don't actually have any real impact. You've probably seen them before. Page views, followers counts, time spent on a page. They sound great in presentations, but they don't always tell you whether your design is working. That's the danger of vanity metrics. They make you feel like you're winning. In reality, you might just be getting louder, not better. Meaningful KPIs go deeper. They measure behavioral change. Did the user complete a task faster? Did they adopt a new feature? Did satisfaction actually improve? Here's a rule of thumb that I live by. If your metric doesn't help you make a design decision, it's probably a vanity metric. At the end of the day, data isn't there to decorate your case study. It's there to direct your design thinking. So to recap, KPIs are measurable indicators of success. They tell you how to connect empathy with evidence. And when you use them intentionally, they transform your design decisions into something impactful. But here's the part I really want you to take away. KPIs aren't about turning creativity into spreadsheets. They're about bringing clarity to your craft. They give you the language to translate, I think this works, into, I know this made a difference. When you connect your design intuition to outcomes, something powerful happens. You start earning trust. Stakeholders listen differently. Your voice carries further, because now you're not just talking about pixels or flow, you're showing proof of progress. And that's what great designers do. We design with empathy, but we lead with evidence. So as you move into your next project, ask yourself, what will success look like and how will I measure it? If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It helps more designers like yourself discover the series. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss the next letter in the A to Z of product design.